Welcome to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall Gruyter. In our program each week, we provide the tools, ideas, and encouragement to help you move ahead on your journey, becoming a more powerful and impactful woman in your own life. Now here's your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter.
Welcome, everyone. I hope that you're having an amazing day. I'm honored to be connecting in with you. It's such a special privilege and opportunity when we have this moment that we get to stop and connect in heart, mind, body, and soul. And this show, this time, is just for you. So I want to encourage you to choose to be fully present and really receive everything that is here for you today. We have an amazing guest that'll be joining us, and we're going to be talking about really showing up in your life powerfully, shining, choosing to bring forward those things that matter most to you. And especially for those of you who are called to entrepreneurship or leading a business or leading something forward, that you have that calling, we're going to give you a lot of great advice and tips and things to think about to support you on your journey so you're able to shine in July and through the remainder of the year and throughout your life to really have a beautiful balance between work and life and bringing forward those things that matter most to you. So very excited to be connecting in with you today. We've got a great show lined up. And again, to get the most out of it, though, I want to encourage you to choose to be present. We get so busy rushing around from one thing to the next, we don't always allow ourselves time to catch up with ourselves, to even listen to what is on our heart, what's swirling around inside of us. We're so busy checking things off the list, running to the next thing. We're not often remembering to be still. So I want to give you a moment to be still, to catch up with yourself a little bit. Let's take a breath in through the nose, out through the mouth like through a straw. Let's take another breath. So big you can make your belly, a little bigger, and then out through your mouth. Great. Keep breathing. This kind of breathing helps bring you present. It lowers your stress levels, your cortisol levels. It brings oxygen throughout your body, helping bring in what serves and release what no longer serves. And it's a great practice to just check in and breathe for a moment. It's amazing how it can shift how you're feeling and how you're being, what you're choosing to do next when we take this moment, just a minute, to pause, breathe, listen, and receive. So as you're being still and breathing for a moment, I invite you to close your eyes. You're absolutely safe. Put one hand on your heart, one hand on your head, bringing you all in, mind, body, soul, and spirit. Take a breath. And keep breathing. And in this space, as we take a moment to stop and listen, what is it that you need? What is it that will encourage you, support you? What is it that you need real time today to help you on your journey, to help you shine fully in your life, share your gifts and talents? Help you bring forward those things that matter most to you. What do you need? Just feel in and receive that information. Please note, I haven't asked how. That's not part of this inquiry. We're simply seeing what it is that you need and are willing to receive, because we have choice. What do we need? And we are willing to receive, unattached to how. Beautiful. So receive that information. We're going to come back into the room. And as we do so, take a breath, eyes open, fully present, and take a moment and write that information down. What it is that you identified that you need and are willing to receive. Part of writing it down helps you keep it top of mind We get so busy running around, we get distracted by the next shiny thing, and we lose the very thing. We can miss it that can be right in front of us, an answer to what it is that we needed because we forgot to look, we forgot to be open. So I want to encourage you to write it down, start to create it, bring it into reality so that you can glance down at that page. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. And here's what's exciting about this. You don't have to identify the how right now. You're just identifying what it is that you need. In fact, you're looking to being excited and surprised by the wonderful way that this particular need gets met that you never imagined. That you're just open to receiving that gift, that thing to support you on your journey. Beautiful. Be actively on the lookout during our conversation today and as you get ready to go back out into the world. With that, we're going to go around our virtual room and I'm going to touch in with our amazing guest, Amy, and just see when she took a moment to stop, pause, and listen what was laid on her heart. Amy, I'd love for you to share.
Mine actually came up this morning in my meditation as well, but I had already forgotten it. It was to release the deadlines and timelines that I have self-imposed.
Say that again. That's really good.
Releasing the deadlines and timelines that I've self-imposed. This morning, what came to me is your desires are wonderful. Your timelines are not. So just being more at peace with the fact that our world is in a slowdown, and we've had to release a lot of timelines and deadlines, but I still am holding to I just am still holding to deadlines that aren't serving me well.
Beautiful. I love that. And I like that self-imposed deadlines because we can make these timelines. This is how it's supposed to work. And then get stressed out trying to make that happen instead of
and
maybe...
it's a day that we made up, right? Like it's an arbitrary deadline and timeline that we made up. And then it feels like God will smite us if it's not done on time.
Exactly. Like we have to do this. So I love that kind of releasing that and being open to the flow, still honoring the vision of what you're bringing forward, but maybe checking in on those timelines and being open to them shifting. I think that's beautiful and a wonderful reminder for all of us. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Listeners, I think for myself, when I stopped and paused, it was this just remembering how important it is to take those moments 1 minute at a time can make such a shift from feeling rushed and pressured by those timelines or other things. And just remembering 1 moment, 1 minute, I can stop and breathe and shift how I'm showing up in that moment and then choose to be the way I want to be as I step forward in the day. So that was something that just was a great reminder for me during our time together that I felt very deeply. So thank you all for checking in, connecting in with us. I felt that deep connection as we stop for a moment collectively, connect our hearts and listen and connect to each other. And that's something even in the times we're facing right now, that slowing down and that purposeful mindfulness connection makes a huge difference. And so during our time today, I want you to feel into that, feel the connection, feel our support of you, our encouragement that we're coming alongside you. Even if you can't see us, I hope that you feel that during our time together today, because we are here for you, to support you on your journey, to help you in profound and practical ways to step forward on those things that matter most to you on the timelines, speaking of timelines, that serve what you're called to bring forward and how you're called to be in it and part of what is coming forward. So really sinking into that and feeling in. As we go to this first commercial break, I encourage you to stay in the stillness as those commercials are playing in the background, informing you of things we want you to be aware of, programs, resources, information. As it plays in the background, choose to stay present for these 2 minutes and really listen to what's being laid on your heart, what's laid on your spirit. And I want you to really feel into purposely, mindfully connecting with us and to all the listeners around the world. And we'll look forward to continuing our conversation in just 2 minutes.
sure to friend us on Facebook. You can do it right now. Visit facebook.com/Voice America or search for us at keyword Voice America.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Get Unchained. Tune in every Monday for Jane Unchained on the Voice America Influencers channel, featuring nationally recognized best-selling author, TV journalist, and social media influencer Jane Velez Mitchell. This program takes you inside a trending lifestyle that's the next wave of human evolution. It all starts on your plate. If you want to revolutionize your life, get happier, more energized, then discover the secret. Tune in to Jane Unchained Mondays at 10 a.m. Pacific Time and 1 p.m. Eastern Time on the Voice America Influencers channel.
Rebecca Hall Greider's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at SpeakerTalentSearch.com. That's SpeakerTalentSearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Have you had a chance to check out Voice America's online magazine and blog? If you love our hosts and shows, check out articles that give an even deeper perspective, plus topics about health and fitness, movie reviews, philosophy, business tips and tactics, spirituality, positive thought, current events, and even more about your favorite host. It's just a click away at blog.voiceamerica.com. That's blog.voiceamerica.com. The Voice America Press Blog. All access, all the time. We don't follow, we lead. Join us, the Voice America Influencers channel.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Greider. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-472-5795. That's 1-866-472-5795. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that time to stop, pause, be present, and feel in. We don't always purposely, mindfully choose to feel and connect with each other. We're sometimes accustomed to connection being when we can see and touch people. And I think it's important we remember that we can connect in other ways, and that purposely, mindfully reaching out and connecting with each other is a true connection. And you can start to feel that and feel that energy and support on your journey as you connect in. At any time, you can do that. So I want to encourage you, especially during these times where we're perhaps a little bit more separated than we're accustomed to or we prefer. I want you to know that that connection is just a purposeful mindfulness away that we can connect in with ourselves and we can connect in with each other and feel that support come alongside us. I think that's really important to remember. And as we continue our conversation, and I hope you're feeling our connection in with you to support you on your journey, I wanted to more formally introduce our amazing Amy today so that you know a little bit more of her background. You got to hear a little bit of her heart in the opening segment. So let me share a little bit of her background. So Amy Walker is an international speaker, summit leader, executive business coach, author, client acquisition specialist, podcast host, and busy wife and mom to 5 boys. She has been featured on Fast Company, the Huffington Post, U.S. News and World Report, and the CEO magazine. She's absolutely passionate about helping entrepreneurs create a platform that doesn't take over their lives, and it helps them go after their dreams. Please lean in and warmly welcome the powerful and heart-centered Amy Walker to the show. Welcome!
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. I've been excited for this for how long ago did we schedule? Like a month or two. So I'm really grateful for you having me on your platform. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. You're very welcome. We are equally excited to have you on the show today. I can't wait to share you, your heart, your powerful information and approach to things with all of our listeners. I hope you could feel that as I was raising my hands and welcoming you to our stage today.
I felt it. I totally felt it. And it's great because there are a lot of shows that I go on, I really am sharing from the head space, but I love being in the heart space. And so I'm grateful that you create this place where we can go both directions. We can talk strategy, but what's the soul behind the strategy?
Yes, thank you. Well, I think that's really important because somewhere out there, there's this myth that they're mutually exclusive and have to be different places.
Right.
And I feel like it's important we bring them together and use both of them. So we're using all of us, all of our gifts and talents and ways of being as we show up in the world and really shine. So I'm so glad you feel that and we're able to bring all of those things together. So to start our conversation, I'd like to start with what you were saying, that soul place, that why. Why is this work of helping entrepreneurs, small business owners in this way, why is that personally so important to you?
When I started my business, it was from a just hunger to have more family time and more control over my schedule and to be able to I felt like at the time, 90% of my effort was going into my job and getting by and taking care of just the day-to-day tasks. And I remember thinking, what if all of that was managed? What would I do next? And how would I contribute? And how would I be a better person in the world? And that was really, that question was the start of me shifting from working from somebody else and working for myself. And I've seen that so many times that when you take inspired entrepreneurs and you actually make their business work, then they're not spending all of their best energy and best creativity and best ideas just on taking care of themselves. And they look out and they go, well, now what am I going to do? And, I love helping their business work, but then I love seeing what they do next. I've got clients who have started organizations and nonprofits to help end sex trafficking and are building wells in different countries and, creating education courses for teenagers and just doing really good things. And I feel like we're in a phase where if we have great people that their needs are met, then they have the time, the energy, the resources to go out and really create positive change in the world. And I don't know about you, but I think our world needs some positive change right now.
I love it. Thank you for sharing. I can feel your heart and your excitement in it and some of your journey that you went from just trying to kind of get by and have all your energy there to being able to shift to another place and not only create a powerful lifestyle that you're able to balance things and spend time where you're wanting, but also help so many. And just if we look back, was there something that helped you make that shift? I know I started asking the question, but the courage to make that shift. Do you mind sharing a little bit about that?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's an interesting story. I was at a very tough place in my life. I was not a natural entrepreneur. I was actually pretty bad at business when I got started. I couldn't sell. I struggled knowing how to market and find the right people. And I really multiple times wanted to just throw in the towel and give up. But I really never felt right about it. And so we were struggling financially. We were living in a 200-year-old farmhouse that had 3 different colors of green shag carpet. And every time I ran the toaster and the microwave at the same time, the power would blow, and I would have to walk outside to the pole and flip the switch and turn it back on. And I did it probably every day. So I was at this spot in my life where I really felt that I had more to give and I had more to offer, but everything around me showed that I didn't. You know, every time I tried, I missed. And I remember going on this youth conference as a leader, and here we were with all of these teenagers, and we were having this really in-depth conversation about what is it that stops you from being who you want to be? What is that thing? And we had everyone write it with Sharpies on a rock, and then we buried the rocks on the beach of this lake. And I wrote on my rock, I sat there and I wrote down, living below my potential, that there were so many times where I felt that I was capable of more, that I was meant for more. And then I would let fear and doubt and worry and feelings of inadequacy stop me. And it was this constant barrier. And I was so uncomfortable with living below my potential. It just felt icky to me at that point. And so I wrote it on that rock. I buried it in the sand, and I went home, and it was a major shift for me where I would still feel the fear, but I would remind myself I no longer live below my potential. And I just would remind myself that, oh no, that's buried. That's gone. We don't do that anymore, Amy. So we are constantly expanding our potential. I don't even know what that looks like, but we're going for it. And a lot of self-pep talks and a lot of doing things that made my tummy a little nauseous. But it was so freeing. Like the discomfort of change was so much more enjoyable than that constant gnawing feeling of knowing you were meant for greatness, but you're living a life of mediocrity. It was the worst.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I just think what a power, and that moment of writing it on the rock, burying it in the ground, like that's gone. It's buried. It's done. It's finished. And then reminding yourself, like when you went home, reminding yourself that chapter's closed. Oh yeah, that's not me anymore. This is where I'm going. That opens up your mind. You can look at things differently. And if that's where I'm going, then these are some of the things I'm going to do, even if they stretch me, make me nervous or uncomfortable. But this is who I am now. This is where I'm going. And listeners, I just want you to take note of that. Are there things it's time to put on the rock and bury to really release that it's finished and it's time to move in another direction? Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
So circling into some of the focus we've been having in July is shining. We talk about really showing up powerfully center stage. Like if this isn't the dress rehearsal, we don't get to do it again, come back when we feel more prepared. Like this is the moment to show up and shine. And for you, I would love for you to share, how does entrepreneurship tie into showing up and shining? How do those tie together for you?
That is such a great, beautiful question. I love it because for me, I am not somebody who I have this introvert, extrovert thing going on where I want to have an impact and I want to have a voice and I want to make a difference. But at the same time, I'd really rather no one know who I am. So it's this odd mix of sides of my personality where I can do people, but then I'm going to have some recovery time afterwards. And I have a people quota where I can only handle so much visibility. And then I need to go hide in my room for a day. And so for me, the journey of entrepreneurship has given me a place to focus my desire to have impact and influence because I didn't quite know what to do with it beforehand. I've always been a really deep thinker, and I've always been somebody who I feel like I have messages and I have words that I can present them in a way that somebody else will take notice, and it creates impact for them and makes a positive change in their life. And I wanted to do that, but I never really knew where to put that and where to focus that until I stepped into entrepreneurship. And I feel like in today's entrepreneur culture, where everybody wants to know the person and the message and the mission and the values behind the organization that they do business with, it's such a natural marriage these days where, yes, I work with people on their sales and marketing, but because I work with people on their sales and marketing, I have more people following me, and then I can share about things like social justice and faith and balancing your relationships as a family and forgiveness and all of these messages that are so much more important than the fact that your sales and marketing work. Like, I have a platform for both. And I really feel like in today's business culture, people expect both from you. They don't want to just do business and then find out that the company they're doing business with are like mean jerks behind the scenes. They want to know that behind the scenes. And so it's a great time to be able to use business as a platform for change.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And I love how, again, it's not mutually exclusive. They're together and one and the same. And it is a platform in a way that you can bring forward those things that matter most to you and support and empower others in those ways as well. I think sometimes we think business is in one category and then life is in another. And then those things that matter to us, those core values, are things that we just kind of keep to ourselves sometimes and hope people figure out. And instead, we can tie them all together and have a really, really big impact and make a difference, and also show people how they can do that too, and they can integrate all and bring it forward in meaningful ways. Oh, thank you for sharing that. Yeah.
Can I add one thing to that as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Because as you were saying that, here's the other part. Isn't it so tiring to try to keep all those areas of your life separate and remember who you're supposed to be in different situations? Like, I can't do that. It's too much energy to try to remember this is who I am in business, and this is who I am when I'm at the football game watching my kids in the marching band, and this is who I am when I'm, showing up at church and service there. Like, to me, being fully integrated is healing for your heart, and to be able to say, this is who I am in all situations, in all times, in all places, and this is what I bring to the table. There's no sense of pretense, and it takes a lot of energy to put up a front and to put up a good face, put your best face forward. That's energy that we could devote into actually doing good things for our lives and the people we love.
Yes. And as you were picturing that, I thought, what if two of those categories came together? Then what do you do?
I know.
And both at the same time. That's even more pressure. And then you have to choose how am I going to be? Which am I going to show up? I think that's a great point. I know for years I tried to show up a certain way in business, and I'd wear a certain outfit. I'd have my hair a certain way, and I tried to use certain language, lower my voice, wear the more serious clothes, the more serious shoes, all of these things that I felt would present myself a certain way. But then when I got home, I couldn't wait to take my hair down and put on comfortable clothes and all of those things and finally be me. And it was exhausting. And I think
we all went through that phase where we felt like we had to conform to be successful. And I've been telling people, especially since COVID hit, and I'm like, guys, guess what? I'm just as smart with no makeup and my hair done. So yay, you get to have access to Amy's intelligence today, but not necessarily my hair and makeup being done. It just depends on the day if it fit in or not,
Yep. Well, and I think being willing to share more aspects of ourselves, and then we can bring more. We're not spending all that energy on perhaps the thing that it didn't matter to really spend it on that day. And I found when I started to show up a little bit more integrated, a little bit more as who I was, I'm curious about this with you, Amy, I found that people actually leaned in. I was no longer this, like the financial lady. I was Rebecca. I became a human to them, and we could connect on deeper levels. They leaned into the conversations. There was more life, and we were actually barriers went down, and we were able to connect further and move things forward more powerfully. And I had more energy and joy in it. Yes. I don't know if you found that as well.
Definitely. So I use, when I'm connecting communicating with my clients, I make a lot of video. So we send a lot of video back and forth. And honestly, one day you may see me in a car with no makeup on, waiting outside of an orthodontist office, and I'm making a video for you. And then the next day I might be fully dressed up because I'm doing video production. And at first, when I made that shift, I'm not going to wait to use my talents until I look ready for using my talents. I just said, I'm just going to use my talents and I'm just going to share, and it's all going to fit into my life because my life moves a million miles an hour with 5 kids and 2 businesses. And I mean, it just is fast. And so when I made that shift, I noticed my clients were more connected, more open, more responsive, and more vulnerable faster. Like the relationship accelerated because all of a sudden behind the facade of I've got it all together is a real person who has kids that poke their head in while I'm making a video and make goofy faces in the background. And they shouldn't be doing it, but they are. And it's like, oh, yeah, that's how my house is too. So it just creates this human connection and this human quality. And I'm not suggesting that we should be unprofessional. It's just, I think, especially this year where so many of us are doing things from home, and it's very much things have shifted. And I feel like we're just stripping away everything that doesn't matter, and we're seeing what's left behind and what's actually valuable.
Yes, beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Well, listeners, as we get ready to go to our next commercial break, I want to encourage you to use these 2 minutes and think about what Amy has shared. Think about some of how that feels to perhaps not worry so much about those things and instead spend that energy on bringing more of you forward, all of you, not just part of you. So take a couple moments as we take this next commercial break, and then we will continue our conversation. We'll look forward to talking to you in just 2 minutes.
Think you've seen everything there is to see in online television? Let us surprise you. Visit voiceamerica.tv today for sports, health, business, and more on demand 24/7.
Rebecca Hall Greider's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at SpeakerTalentSearch.com. That's SpeakerTalentSearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Sustainable success is just around the corner. If you are an entrepreneur, business leader, or anybody looking for their next level of success, tune into Sustainable Success with host Chris Salem. Did you know that the path to success is a long path that started many years ago? The path you started on then determines what is happening now. Chris and his amazing guests in their field will help you navigate the path to sustainable success every Thursday at 12 noon Eastern Time and 9 a.m. Pacific on the Voice America Influencers Channel.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Tune in to the Voice America Variety channel on the Voice America Talk Radio Network. Voice America Variety broadcasts a diverse array of topics, reaching a global community. Our experts come from all walks of life, and the topics they discuss are everything from current events, arts and entertainment, leadership, parenting, relationships, self-improvement, career advice, and a variety of other topics. Check us out today. You're sure to find something of interest. Voice America Variety. Talk on today's hot topics.
Change starts here. Change starts now. Join us, the Voice America Influencers Channel.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Greider. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-472-5795. That's 1-866-472-5795. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to empowering women, transforming lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes and that opportunity to really feel into what Amy was sharing about bringing all of you forward and maybe releasing some of those things that we worry about or try to show up in a certain way. Actually, behind the scenes, we were talking about, we can just show up as we are and share that, take away some of that pressure, pull back the curtain. And so we were kind of celebrating that behind the scenes. And continuing with that, I wanted to tap into some of Amy's gifts and talents and powerful information when we're looking at business and setting them up to be successful, where they're not running us, but they are supporting us and allowing us to have that full life, the life of our dreams that we're wanting. And so there's a couple different ways I wanted to tap into this, Amy. One is we have authors on our show a lot, and we have a lot of authors that are listening. And I know that in some of the information you sent us, you had some special thoughts for authors around helping build a platform and profitability and sharing their message, kind of tying that together. So I'd love for you to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think most authors know that the book isn't where you earn the money. The money is earned in the course, in the speaking fees. It's earned in the product sales, and it's a lot faster to get profitable if you have a course on the back end of your book, so that the book is really the door, and it's the opportunity that gets you on stages and it gets you in front of people, and it's a great tool in your business. But I think the first thing is authors need to know where to position it. The second recommendation that I have that I wish more authors would do is, before they write their book, interview your ideal clients. And for example, if you had a book that was on healing from divorce and you wanted to have as your follow-up, you wanted to have a course that helps people heal from divorce that goes off of what you talk about in the book. Well, as you're writing the book, interview people who are in that process of trying to heal from divorce and offer them your course right then, so that while you're writing the book, you're still earning money off of what's going to become the book. And then when the book sells, then you use that to be able to get on more podcasts and to be able to get on, online events and summits. I say online because everything's online right now, but women's events, and get the right stages. And then you already have the course developed because you developed the course as you had people going through it, and you can test and prove your information and have more experiences and stories to share than just your own. So I think there's a way to do it that you can get profitable really quickly, and it doesn't have to be the long, slow, arduous process that sometimes people think of when they think of writing a book and self-publishing.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. And I also think, as you're saying that it gives you great language to use in the book as you describe the book, as you're talking to your ideal clients, because now you're using connecting language. You're starting to know what that is for the target audience, not just the way you talk about it. And that's going to help both of those things as you're bringing them forward.
It's going to give you a better book. It's going to give you better examples. It's going to test your material out. And it is so interesting how it is 100 times easier. That's not scientific, but I'm just making it up. It's 100 times easier to get someone to say yes, that they'll do an interview as part of your book, than it is to say, hey, would you like to get on a sales call and hear a little bit more about my program? And they're like, no, thank you. But could I interview you for a book that I have coming up? I think you'd be a great fit. Absolutely. It just is so easy to get the yes. And when we're looking at client acquisition plans, we are honestly looking at what is the easiest way to get a yes. And so a lot of my strategies that I use with my clients center around interviewing people for a book project, or interviewing people for a podcast, or finding something that when you reach out, they want to say yes, instead of feeling unsure or hesitant if they're interested.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Really, really powerful. And so, for all of you out there that are authors or wanting to be authors or thinking about where do I start, this is a great, great series of tips to work into that strategy, and another way to think about how you're connecting with others. That easy yes, something they easily will want to say yes and talk with you about. Beautiful. So it sounds like that also goes for podcast summits, anything that creates an interview platform where you're showcasing others might be a good way to also connect in with them and start those conversations while you're lifting others up. Would you agree? Would you add to that?
I would absolutely agree. What I call it in the client acquisition process is your irresistible ask. Everybody needs something that they can reach out to their dream client and put it in front of them, and the dream client is going to want to say yes. So you need to create opportunities for that where you're leading not with a, would you like to buy from me, but you're leading with a, would you like to can I feature you on my YouTube channel? Can I promote you on my podcast? But you want to lead with something that isn't just that you're dying to say yes to. It's the opportunity that they've been waiting for and looking for. And I think most people just aren't quite sure how to position that. But once they get it and it dials into place, I mean, you can take, I have a client who was doing about $2,500 a month. 2 months ago, we shifted her strategy. And this month, she was just telling me her sales goal is $150,000. But the crazy part is she actually has a plan for it, and she has all of the leads in her pipeline. That's the exciting part, is like looking at it going, that's not just a made-up number. She actually has a plan and a strategy, and that looks very doable from where I'm sitting. It's just the process of figuring out what's the right path to get to your dream clients. And the reason we want to get there is so we can make impact. I mean, most authors and coaches and healers and, consultants and life coaches, energy workers, like most of us, the reason why we're in business is because we want to create the change, and we want to help, and we want to serve. But when we don't have a clear path for how to get there, we end up expending all of our energy in trying to find the people that we can help instead of having energy to actually help them. So when we make that process more streamlined, it's so much more joyful to do your business when you're not constantly worrying about who am I going to work with, but you have a lot of people in front of you, and now it's just a matter of which ones are ready and which ones are excited.
Yeah. Well, and that creates a buzz and excitement when you have something that is an easy yes that they can lean into, that they've been waiting for, and you're able to bring that to them, then they are going to want more, and it's more fun, less energy, enjoyable to be able to build that bridge and connect with them in that way. So I think that's really powerful. And we've been using the example of a book or podcast or YouTube. A lot of times we call these platforms. Are there other business platforms that you want to include that people should be considering that could really accelerate all of the good that we're trying to do in the world?
Well, choosing your platform really depends on who your audience is. And a lot of people choose the platform that they like the best, and that's the wrong way to choose. You need to find out who your audience is and go where they are. So for me, for example, LinkedIn's not the most fun platform out there, but it sure is great for my business. It's been the number one producing platform for me. And so I think as you're selecting where do I want to put my information, you should look at first, where's your audience? And you should look at second, what is the level of demand of the platform, and can I support that? For example, I do YouTube, and YouTube is a lot of work. It takes way more time and energy than any of my other platforms. And I knew YouTube was going to be great for my business, but for a couple of years, I just didn't have the time and energy to devote to it. So I didn't, because doing a platform halfway and not following the metrics that the platform demands of you is really not going to do you any good. So it's figuring out where your clients are, figuring out how much work it's going to take, and do you understand the strategy there? And then it becomes an issue of relentless consistency, that whether you feel like it or not, you've got to show up on the platform, because all of the platforms have algorithms, and you don't get to just show up when you want and then show up again a couple weeks later. The platform will not support that. So you've got to pick a platform that works for you, that you can give it what it needs, and then really get consistent and strategic about mapping out your content.
Perfect. That consistency is so, so important, whether we feel like it or not. Keep bringing that forward. And I love your reminder about it's not just the platform that you're comfortable with and you like, but where are your people? Because that's where we need to go. That's where we need to connect with them, is where they are and be really easy to find. Now, we've talked a lot about acquisition strategy, which I love. It's so important to have a plan and be strategic about what we're doing. But where is this balance between serving and selling as we're growing, as we're looking at these platforms and building strategies? Where is that balance?
You know, it's so interesting because the most burnt out entrepreneurs that I know are the ones who overserve. But the ones who most effectively serve are the ones who create parameters around their service. And so there's this idea that we have to serve everywhere. And I see a lot of people doing things in their business that there's no way it's going to generate income for them. They're serving, and they're hoping that it's going to take them to profits. And I look at it and I'm like, there's no money there. For example, I was a coach on a Teenpreneur Week this summer, and I'll talk to clients who will do things like that. Oh, yeah, I've got a speaking gig. I'm being a coach on the Teenpreneur Week. I'm like, those teens are not going to hire you. That's a service opportunity. That's not a speaking gig. And so what I do is I personally look at it and I say, how many hours per month can I allocate to service? And then I view that as a tithe, where I'm tithing a portion of my time for service. Because if I overserve, that's time that comes away from my income producing, and it's time that comes away from my family. Every yes that I say has a no behind it. And so I'm really strategic with the things that I say yes to. And as I have gotten put better parameters around my service time, I enjoy that service time more. I don't find myself burnt out or resentful. I'm able to actually serve more consistently because I have plenty of time dedicated to the areas of my business that do make me money. So I think that every time I show up to do business, I come with a heart of service. But there are definitely times where I just show up to serve, and I know that no business is coming from it. And that's where I think people get a little confused, as they think, well, but if I'm showing up to serve in all business that I do, shouldn't I just serve freely? And you really have to have an understanding of what are you doing for business? What are you doing for service? When I'm doing business, I'm still serving. But when I'm doing service, I am not expecting business to come from it. And I have to be honest with myself about that and just set some time boundaries.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I think that is so important and absolutely an area that we can get confused about. And maybe not even seek clarity, because we start to blend them together versus having a really clear. I was thinking of my financial days. I was thinking I have a budget, a time budget for this and a time budget for that, and then goals. And I really like that, because then I know every month I have a certain amount of time I can say yes to those kinds of things, and it's not going to harm or hurt my business goals, that they're actually going to work together. And that's exciting, and gives clarity and gives direction. So thank you so much for sharing. I think this is great. We're getting ready to go to our next commercial break. And as we do that, I want to encourage everyone to just think about that. Look at your time a little bit. And do you have some clear boundaries of how much you're putting towards things? Or is it a little fuzzy? And then sometimes, here's the danger of fuzzy. Sometimes we think we have a 36-hour day and we don't. So get clear on where the time is and try to lose some of the fuzziness and get that clarity. And we'll look forward to talking to you in just 2 minutes.
Follow us on Twitter at VoiceAmericaTRN. Get the lowdown on guests, new shows, and your favorites. That's VoiceAmericaTRN. Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
There's a new force to be reckoned with in talk radio. It's Not Just Talk Radio, hosted by LaTanya Jr. and co-host Tina Wynn and Tony Brown. Not Just Talk Radio is like a superhero, inspiring, problem-solving, and informing, packed with action-provoking conversations from news, movements, and social and politics issues. This program is about a wide range of voices and fresh points of view from experts, celebrities, and you, the listener. Not Just Talk Radio is broadcast live Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 8 a.m. Pacific on the Voice America Influencers Channel.
Rebecca Hall Greider's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at SpeakerTalentSearch.com. That's SpeakerTalentSearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Become a member of VoiceAmerica.com. It's easy, and best of all, it's free. Start out by going to our homepage or any of our channels and click Register at the top. Once you've created an account and signed in, you can create your own custom library, opt into our newsletter, search by show, host, guest, or topic of interest, or browse millions of hours of content across all of our Voice America radio channels. Membership gets you more. Visit VoiceAmerica.com today to get started and tailor the listening experience to your taste.
We don't follow, we lead. Join us, the Voice America Influencers Channel.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Greider. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-472-5795. That's 1-866-472-5795. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes and explored some of that fuzziness we can have around time and boundaries and kind of looked at how we could get a little bit more clarity around that and define it a little bit more. It's just been wonderful to have all of you connecting with us today. Amy, it's been a privilege to have you join and share so much wisdom and insight with us and things to be thinking about and exploring. And I'd love for you to share how people can connect with you, how they can go deeper and take this relationship further. What's the best way for them to do that?
Absolutely. I'd love to actually give your readers a free copy of my book. If you want some more strategy in your life, come over and grab my book. It's called the I'm Not a Salesperson Sales Book, How to Sell Like a Natural Even If You're Not. And if you go to www.salesaремything.com, salesaремything.com, you can get that book. But I also want you to get the book, read the book for free. I also want you to watch the strategy so that you can start to see how you can position your book as part of a bigger piece of the puzzle of acquiring clients and making positive change.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. We always love a gift that is supportive, so I appreciate you making that available. And then any final tip or reminder as they get ready to go back out into the world?
Absolutely. I would just say that inspiration deserves implementation. And great big ideas are awesome, but getting it done is even more fulfilling.
Beautiful. I love that. We want to bring them forward, not someday, but today. So let's bring all those amazing dreams and ideas forward and start to get the plan, strategy, and steps. And I want to remind everybody, life is not a solo journey. If you need support, if you need help, reach out for that. Get support on the journey, helping build that plan and that strategy to bring your great dream forward, to bring those brilliant ideas forward, because they are needed, especially at such a time like this. So each of you, as you get ready to go back out into the world, I want you to remember a couple things. One, you are beautifully and wonderfully made, absolutely gifted in unique ways, especially for such a time as this. And the biggest gift you can give the world, that you can give all of those around you, the biggest impact you can have, is being willing to share a little bit more of you, all of you, the wholly integrated you, not just a part of you. So be willing to share the amazing gift of who you are. Be willing to fully show up in your life and shine out, share those gifts, talents, and ideas with the world. And as you do that, I want you to feel us beside you, supporting you on your journey, encouraging you, cheering you on. And wherever you go, be willing to bloom where you are planted and shine. Have an amazing week, everyone. We'll look forward to talking to you next time.
Thank you for joining us this week for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. Please tune in again for another edition with your host, Rebecca Hall-Gruyter, next Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Pacific, on the Voice America Influencers channel. And join us for a replay of the show every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Pacific, on the Voice America Empowerment channel. Have a beautiful week, and may you always bloom where you're planted and shine.